how do you read the Bible? Well, this is something that I've been thinking about, and I'll tell you why. Because different people of different faiths read the Bible in different ways. Jehovah's Witnesses read the Bible through the lens of the doctrine of their church. And Mormons read the Bible, but they take verses out of context and add things to them. And I'm going to say to you that they don't even know that they're doing it, because they're looking for something in the Bible that they think they already know. Muslims read the Bible looking for contradictions to Christian doctrine, looking for things that are wrong, looking for contradictions within the Bible, looking for ways that it was corrupted. And Mormons, LDS people, do that to some degree. Do we do the same thing? If you were raised as a Baptist, do you read it with Baptist theology in mind, through a Baptist point of view? If you're an Episcopalian, do you read it with an Episcopalian point of view? If you're non-denominational, do you read it from the point of view that you got from your pastor, or your mom and dad, or your Sunday school teacher? Do you get what I'm trying to say here? We all have these filters, these lenses that we look at the Bible through. If you read the Bible like you were reading it for the first time, like you were a child, and you were just looking to see what's there, not adding anything to it and not taking anything away from it, would we have a lot of the things that we have as traditions? There's a lot of things in the Bible that we don't have. For example, everywhere that I can find in the New Testament, when the church gathered together, it was in somebody's home. And there are things that are in our churches that we can't find in the Bible. There's no steeple in the Bible. There's no crucifix hanging up on a wall. There's no rows of pews, or maybe rows of chairs, depending on what your church has. There's no kneeling benches if you're Catholic. There's no choir robes. There's no distinction between clergy and laity. We're all called priests and kings. There's no stained glass windows. There is no clerical collars or priestly vestments or stoles or robes for priests. You know, when I said earlier there was no choir robes, there's no choirs in the church. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that those things are wrong and we can't have them. But I am saying this. I use those physical things to get you to think. So if we've got all these things in our churches that aren't in the Bible, do we have theology and teachings and traditions in our churches that aren't in the Bible? And while I think a stained glass window is rather innocuous, rather harmless, if you have a doctrine that's not in the Bible, if you have theology that's not in the Bible, how harmful would that be? So I want to challenge you to read the Bible and don't look for validation of what you already believe. Read the Bible looking for it, what it actually says. And make sure you're not taking verses out of context, that you read the other verses around it in the chapter. Maybe you read the other chapters around it in the book. Maybe you look at that book within the context of the whole Bible. And look for what is actually there. I'm challenging you to read the Bible. What would your faith look like if you've never heard of Christianity? If you had never been to a church? If you have never met somebody who was a Christian? If you just stumbled upon the Bible and you were reading it for the first time on your own, what would your faith look like? Something to think about.